All right, welcome to the Top 100 Countdown from start to finish. My name is Drew Bennett. I'm a music scheduling consultant here at MusicMaster, and I'll be taking you through the steps of building a countdown from top to bottom. We'll go through the history browser and build the list. We'll take that list to the song list editor and do some editing, and then we'll move that into clocks and schedule that list, and then finally watch that automatically schedule within the scheduler. The first thing you'll do is start with the history browser. That's the last of the 6 main icons. So when you click on that, you'll get a few tabs. The first thing you want to do is start with your time period. Today's the 5th, and so I'm going to look a year back and just change my year there. And then go to categories and uncheck any category that I don't need in the report. So any Christmas, liners, jingles, that kind of thing. We're not dialing down to anything specific, so we'll skip filters and move to display. And we'll change display mode to individual songs. Now, I like to hide and unhide some options down here. So I like to hide song ID and runtime, turnovers. But I do want to show rank. And in my maximum rank, I'm going to put 100 because, those are the only songs that I need, just 100 songs. You could put some extra fields or even a printed report title. I don't think you'll need that. You can just head to favorites and choose Save As, and give that a name and hit OK. Now when I hit OK, MusicMaster is going to say, look, long report time periods can require a lot of processing time. Are you sure you wish to continue? And you do. It's not going to take that long to generate a report of 100 songs over the last 12 months. But it does vary from machine to machine. The faster and more efficient your machine is, the faster you'll get these reports. So keep that in mind as you're using MusicMaster. But it gave me the report there pretty quick. We're looking at rank, category, artist, title, and spins. And so there we have Jewel at the top. To Where You Are is the top spinning record at the station with 1,739 songs. And if I scroll down to the bottom, we'll see that Vanessa Williams' Color of the Wind is the least spinning song at the station. So those are the two records that we'll look at and keep a note of, when we're building this countdown. So now we're ready to save this, and we can choose the Save List icon at the top and give it a name. I'll hit OK. And now we're ready to look at this song list in the song list editor and make some changes. So I'll go to Dataset, Library, and Song List Editor. And here you can create new lists, you can load them, you can save them. These three icons do that for you at the top, and the Load Song List icon is in the middle, so you'll choose that, and you'll choose the Top 100 list and hit OK. MusicMaster will throw that list in here for you, and you can make some changes. If you want to move some songs around, you can. You're just clicking and dragging this blue pointer arrow to move some songs. But you can also choose an icon here and shuffle or sort the songs in a special way. So we have a problem here because we have Jewel at the top. To Where You Are is the first song to play, in the list, and we want that to be the last song. So what we want to do is invert the list or put this in reverse order, and we can do that with the magic wand icon, the shuffle or sort songs in the list icon. When you click that, it actually brings up the song list arrangement screen, and one of the arrangement functions out of many here is the reverse order. And when you hit OK, that will put everything in reverse order or invert the list, and you'll see Vanessa Williams' Color of the Wind is at the top now, and Jewel is at the bottom, so she'll schedule last and then be the #1 song in the countdown. Now we're ready to save the list, and we'll choose that icon there at the top and save the list. Good, so we can close this now. And now we can head to clocks and build a clock that's going to schedule this list. So we'll choose New. Give that a name and hit OK. And this is what a blank clock looks like. In MusicMaster 5.0 and in the info bar and in the clock section of the info bar, we have a new button called Log Notes. You can click that. In this database, I've got a legal ID and a stop set, so I can click and drag this over and put that at the top. Give it a length here. I can do the same thing for stop sets. Give that a length. I can clone this element. And now I'm ready to build a saved list element. So I'll do that at the bottom here. And in the element type column, I'll choose saved list. We'll talk about some of the element properties. Right away, it says import a song from a saved song list. And so down here is where you would define that song list. You'll see here use session list. And just to let you know what that is, when you go to automatically schedule a day, you can define a use session list in the automatic scheduler and say, today, anytime you see this clock and it's pulling from a use session list, today use this list. And so that's what that means. It's a really flexible, cool way of scheduling things like themed weekends and so on. But today, for this example, we'll choose a specific list and we'll choose our top 100 list. Down at the bottom, you've got some import options. You can import the next song, import the first song, and so on. Several ways to get even more flexible with saved list elements. In this case, we'll just leave it alone and import the next song so that list just kind of continues to schedule. So I'll hit OK. And that's it. There's my element. I can click that now and clone that element until I've got about an hour's worth of music here. And then I can go and move these stop sets around where they need to be. And then I can even drag in some liners and some jingles. So I'm ready to save this list. And now we're ready to assign it and schedule it. So there's two ways to assign the clock. We can go through the format scheduler, which is a way of, it's a sort of a set it and forget it way of scheduling this clock. We can say, hey, we know we're going to schedule this on the 10th. So we could go into the format scheduler and just say, hey, on the 10th, we're going to run this countdown. We could also go to assignment grids and just assign it to the assignment grid. And when it goes through that day in the grid, it'll schedule that countdown. So I'll show you both. We'll start with the format scheduler. It's this button down here. So you can see that it's rotating my normal fixed grid right now. I haven't scheduled the 6th. And on the 6th, I'm just scheduling that AA fixed clock. So I could come down here at 6 p.m. and say, you know what, at 6 p.m. we're going to begin our countdown. And so I will change that AA fixed clock to a saved list element. And I'll continue doing that for the rest of the evening. You can see how that assignment grid is changing now. And I've got different clocks scheduling, but only beginning at 6 p.m. Now when I click off of this date, you'll see a yellow box there on that date. That just means that something's going to happen. We're going to deviate from the normal assignment grid on this date and do something different. You can click on that and find out what that is. It will be in bold for you. And when you're done, you can choose Save. And that will schedule the saved list beginning at 6 p.m. The other way of doing it is to head right to assignment grids and either create a grid or edit the one that you have that's active. And so we'll just create a new grid. And I'll just click and highlight all of the hours here and then choose our saved list element, or saved list clock. And then I'll save this grid, and then I'll go ahead and make it active. Now I've created the list. I went and edited that, and then I created a clock that's going to schedule that list. And then I went and assigned that to an assignment grid, and now it's ready to go ahead and schedule. I'll choose the scheduler icon. I'll choose the automatic scheduler. I'll choose Wednesday, and I'll hit OK. So MusicMaster is preparing the scheduling window for me. It's going to, set up the some of the history. It's going to archive potentially some history, and then it's going to move in and sort of place this countdown in automatically. Right now, you may be asking yourself, well, what happens when it gets to song number 1? Does it begin again? And if you've got it assigned to all of the clocks or to more clocks than it takes to schedule 100 songs, it will start over, and that's a great feature, I think, when you're looking to, run countdowns multiple times over the weekend. I think, many times when we run these countdowns, we run them a couple of times back to back over the weekend. So I'm just going to open up the scheduler here. What we were looking for was Vanessa Williams with Colors of the Wind as the first song. And, you just want to schedule and, or rather scroll down and take a look at all of these songs. You just want to make sure that everything is in order the way it should be. And it will be. And you just want to get down to, the last song. Sure that Jewel was the last record to schedule. And so there is to Where You Are and the number 1 song in the countdown. You'll see how it begins again with Color of the Wind. And we'll continue on down through every hour that we've assigned it to. So that's how you build a top 100 countdown from start to finish in MusicMaster, and how you can schedule countdowns without having to do anything by hand. If you have any questions, make sure that you contact your music scheduling consultant, your assigned music scheduling consultant. Thanks very much for watching this webinar, and happy scheduling.